The king then handed down the verdict. I want you to go ahead and cut the baby in half. So I brought a little baby to church this morning to help me break my point across. So here these two women are. Yeah, and they had a little nappy. That's all right, but it's my baby. Understand that the two women were arguing over the baby that was alive. Yes, this is my baby. No, it's not your baby. It's my baby. And so understand, yes, that Solomon, with all of his wisdom, then handed down the verdict in reference to the baby by saying, let's cut the baby in half. Yes, cut it in half. One half for this mama and the other half for the other mama. And the text says that one of the mothers, when she heard this verdict, was satisfied and said, well, good then. She gets one half and I get the other. I want to talk to some Negroes and Negroesses that know that misery loves company. There's some people that are miserable and in pain, and they want you to be in misery and in pain. They lost their blessing. They don't want you to be blessed. They don't want you to be happy because they're not happy. Some of you this morning are sitting in here unhappy right now, and you don't want your neighbor to be happy. But I dare you to look at your neighbor and tell them, you better don't worry, but be happy. God has been too good to you for you to sit here like a bump on a log. God has been too kind to us for us to be miserable in church. Yes, misery loves company, but the pain and the misery that you feel is nobody's fault but your own. The text says that Solomon asked for them to bring a sword and let's cut the baby in half. The other mother, seeing that the child, yes, was going to die, rather than seeing this baby lose its life, she said, oh no, my Lord, just let her go ahead and have the baby. I'd rather see her have the baby than the baby lose her life. Understand, a good mother loves their child enough to be able to pray about it and let it go. Have I got a witness, church? If it's in the best interest of the child. You don't believe me? Ask the mother of Moses, who hid her son for 3 months because she was afraid that her child would be killed. The Bible says she went down to the banks of the Nile River and she put her baby Moses in a basket. That's why we call Moses a basket case. And she pushed him along so that the child would live. Have I got a witness, church? Just as Samuel and Hannah, who could not have a child of her own, prayed to the Lord, and she promised God that if you bless me with a child, I'll give him right back to you. Is there anybody here that knows God is looking for more mamas that will give their kids back to the Lord, just as Mary and Jesus? Oh yes, she gave birth to the Son of God, but at a certain point she had to let him go to do what God had called him to do. And I suggest to every mama in the house that there comes a time in your motherhood where you've got to pray about your child and let them go. Don't you let your kids stress you out. Don't you let them worry you to the grave. At a certain point you got to let them grow up on their own. You can't raise these grown children up. You've done your best. You trained the child in the way they should go, so when they grow old they do not depart. But at a certain point you got to love them and leave them alone, because they'll kill you, they'll worry you to death. But you got to pray about it and give them over to the Lord. The Bible declares that when Solomon saw the compassion of that mother, that was willing to let her child go. He said, give that woman the baby back because she is the real mother. And I want to suggest to you that after all of this ordeal, that mom got her baby back. And I want to suggest to you that the text does not really say what happened after that, but I'm just foolish enough to believe that when she got her baby back, she probably turned her life around. She probably made a decision that I'm going to do right by my child. I'm coming out of prostitution. I'm coming out of harlotry. I'm coming out of this wicked lifestyle, and I'm going to live for the Lord. I want to suggest to you that after all of the drama, after all of the confusion, after all of the struggle, after the dust has settled, you're going to get your baby back. That means it's time for a new lease on life. It's time for a new opportunity. It's time for a new season. It's time to turn your life around. It's time to come out of darkness into the marvelous light. I'm glad I got my baby back. Is there anybody here that know what I'm talking about? I thought I had her. I thought I lost her, but now I got her back. I'm ready to move on with my life. I'm ready to make a change for the better. I'm ready to serve the Lord. For God I live, and for God I'll die. I got my baby back. You thought you stole my joy. You thought you took my praise. You thought you took my life, but I got it back. Is there anybody here the devil tried to take from you, trying to steal what God meant for you to have? But aren't you glad this morning that you got it all back? I got my praise back. I got my life back. I got my power back. I got my joy back. Got my relationship back. Got my finances back. Got my mind back. Is there anybody here that's glad to have it back? I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I got it all back. Now I can live better. Now I can walk better. Now I can talk better. I can hold my head up high, square my shoulders off, walk tall and proud that I am somebody. I may have made some mistakes. I may have come short. I may have fallen on my face, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I can start all over again. A just man falls 7 times, but he can get back up again. Who am I preaching to? You thought it was over. You thought that was the end. You thought that life was over, but God gave you your baby back. God gave you another chance to work out your soul salvation with fear and with trembling. I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy come in the morning. Wake up somebody, it's joy. Wake up somebody, it's a happy time. Wake up somebody, it's morning time. Happy Mother's Day. I got to leave you now, but I came to tell you God will work it out. God will work it out. Won't he do it? Hasn't he done it? Shout yeah! Shout yeah! Shout yeah! Come on and clap your hands. Stomp your feet. Shout if you wanna. Shout yeah! Oh yeah! Give somebody a high five. Tell them I know that's right. I know that's right. Oh my God. I got my baby back.